Hi dear parents, welcome back to another math hour. Today I'm going to teach you how to solve inequalities. Inequalities is a big part of algebra. It's a very important skill for the kids to learn. And before we actually go to the algebra, I'm going to first basically give you some ground rules on what to expect when it comes to inequalities and what we should know about inequalities. So let's start off with the basics. Inequalities obviously deals with equations which are not necessarily equal all the time. You're going to get conditions where an equation will be greater. That sign, as you can see, the crocodile eats a bigger number. This is called greater than sign. And then you will have situations where the equation could be less than. And these are signs that your kids already know about. They've learned about this. Now here's where you can get something different. You can get equations where the answer is both greater and equal to something. So this sign, this extra line over here means greater than and equal to. So greater than and equal to a number. And likewise, the opposite will be less than and equal. Okay? And we're going to see how we can plot these different inequalities on a number line. So again, the basics. This means greater than. The crocodile will always eat the bigger number, as you can see. This is less than. This is greater than and equal to. And this is less than and equal to. So now we're going to use these in a problem example. I'm going to show you how this works out. So I'm going to delete these rules right now for 1 second. And I'm going to bring an example right here, which I have right over here. I hope you guys can see this. There we go. So as you can see in our example, it looks like k, whatever the value of k is, that number is bigger, greater than, and equal to the number 1. And I would like to graph this on my number line. So step number 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first find out, well, where exactly is number 1 on this line. As you can see, the number 1 is right over here. So step number 2, what do? Once I locate that number, I'm going to circle it, like so. Okay? And now step number 3, take a look. It says that the number is not only greater than, it's also equal to the number 1. So now anytime, in any situation, where you have a sign that says that the missing value is equal to that number, in this case k is equal to 1, you're going to have to fill in that circle. It's called fill in the circle. Make sure it's completely closed. Closed circle, as we call it, not open. So it's completely filled up with the color red, indicating that it is equal. I'm going to make sure the color red is good. And there we go. So this means that k is equal to 1. And now we're going to draw an arrow where k is bigger than all the numbers after 1. So obviously 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So I'm going to draw a nice straight line connecting from 1 all the way down to the end of my arrow. And of course, I'm going to finish it off with a little arrowhead. And there we go. We have graphed k greater than and equal to 1. And this is how you graph it on a number line. Let's take another example. Let's try right over here. I have a second example where we have s is less than 10. As you can see, s is less than 10. So again, I'm going to first find out where exactly is my number 10. I found it right here, and I will circle it. Next, I'm going to check, is there any equal sign? It doesn't look like there's any equal sign here. It looks like it's only a less than sign. So if there's no equal sign, you leave the circle the way it is. You leave it open. You leave it empty, as we say. Here it was full because there was an equal sign, but here we're going to leave it empty because there is no equal sign. And now we just find out what numbers are smaller or less than 10. So that means 9, 8, 7, 6, and so on. So I'm going to draw a line starting from my circle, and I'm going to highlight all these numbers which are less than 10, all the way to the end, and you finish it off by drawing an arrowhead. And there we go. We have shown on our number line S is less than or smaller than 10. It's that simple. And now let's try another example here. Let's try a negative number. So we have here that C is, let me make it a little bit closer here if I can. There we go. C is greater than and equal to minus 3. So what does that mean? We try to find minus 3. We circle that number minus 3. And then we check, is it a equal sign over here? Yes, it is, which means the circle's got to be closed up. It's got to be completely covered, and here we go, completely covered right here. Closed circle as we call it, not open. And now we look for numbers greater than, bigger than minus 3. That means minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, and so on. So now I'm going to highlight those numbers. So minus 2, 1, 0, 1, all the way down, and we finish it off with an arrowhead. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This represents C greater than and equal to minus 3. And that's basically it. All you got to remember is that if there's an equal sign, you've got to close up the circle. The number that you selected, you got to close it up, fill it up basically. And if you don't have an equal sign, then you leave the circle empty, as so right here. And you just need to remember how to find greater numbers and smaller numbers. And this is how, sorry, and this is how you graph inequalities on a number line. Thank you.